The derivative of e to the x is probably my favorite derivative ever. Think about it, derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. And I think I found that to be my favorite because it was the easiest one to do. But for some reason, I think I just teach it wrong or something because all my students in the past just get so confused about it. And I don't know why, because it's the easiest derivative. So derivative of e to the x, you just leave it alone, just e to the x. And that's what makes e so special, is that the derivative is itself. And that allows us to have solutions to differential equations and a bunch of other stuff in math. So it does have an importance. And that's one of the important parts. Then derivative of natural log of x, another one of my favorites, is 1 over x. 1 over whatever's inside, as we'll find out further when we get to the chain rule, but it just becomes 1 over x. So let's look at this first example. Derivative of 2e to the x. So remember, if you're taking the derivative of 2e to the x, then you can bring that 2 out to the front, and the derivative of the x is just e to the x, so it just becomes 2e to the x. It's just exactly the same thing we have here, so that's 2e to the x. Then we know derivative of cosine's negative sign, so that double negative will become a positive, and then that 3 will just become a 0. If you look over here, derivative of negative 4e to the x is just going to be negative 4e to the x. It just stays the same. Derivative of sine is positive cosine, so that negative will stay there. It's that double negative whenever we take the derivative of cosine that we got to look out for. Derivative of 9 is 0. So there you go. On this one, derivative of 3x to the fourth is 12x cubed, and then minus 7 times 1 over x. Now, usually we don't keep it that way. We want to put that 7 on top over x, because you can think of that as 7 over 1, right? And then the 1 times the x, and so on. So preferably you answer it like this, or x to the negative 1. I see some people just like to write x to the negative 1. Which is perfectly fine. Then this one, derivative of 2 cosine is going to be negative 2 sine of x. Derivative of negative 3 natural log of x will be minus 3 over x, or x to the negative 1 as some people like to put, and then derivative of 1 is 0. So that's all that is. These are pretty basic rules. Shouldn't cause too many issues, but if it does, just keep working with it till you get really comfortable with it, because as things get more difficult, you need to have these down. If you just breeze through it and you get it done, get your 100, I mean, good for you. But as we get to more difficult assignments, you really need to have this down.